dating now has gotten so comparative.
Women have longer rosters than men do. Hey, camera, yeah, dude. If you're talking to a chick and you think she doesn't have a roster, you're a fool.
You're a fool.
I'm probably on her roster.
Yeah, this is men only rendition. So women, shout out. You're getting the inside scope of Two Studs mind right here.
Yes.
But
yes.
For all you men out there, I want to know, do you think dating has changed? Because you like you said, there's an age gap, which is I think cool because there's certain things I relate to, certain things you relate to, and I think we're after under me, every age group I'd say under mine right now, they're used to like this new age of dating. I'm still like, bro, I grew up with like the flip phone, triple text. I grew up like I remember having like my internet computer growing up was like the dial-up. I remember all that. I remember I had to get food at the food bank because we grew up poor. Like I remember all these things, man. But every age group under me doesn't. Yeah. And do you think dating now has changed? And if so, is it for the better or worse?
Okay. I'm a pretty positive guy, so I don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but I'm kind of use the word concerned about dating in this time. And it's just because of the tone and the attitude around dating. It definitely has changed. And I'm gonna take a swing at it, and I'm gonna say it's changed good and bad. But I remember a lot of the different things that you were talking about as far as dating are just things from the past. But one of the things is I feel like back in the day it required a man to be a man and to have guts. Ooh. And the reason why I say that is because back in the day, if I was interested in a woman or a young lady, I had to approach her. I couldn't jump in her DM. I had to walk up to her and ask her for her phone number. So that took bravery. But these guys now, I feel like they're so intimidated by rejection that you can just slide in a DM. All you got to do is type a message and hit send. You don't even know how she's going to respond until you read the message. But it's kind of like it leaves where people can't communicate anymore. That's why when they go on these dates, they don't have really much to talk about because they're texters and they really
busting all their phone. I've seen tables of people like all four of them have their phones.
Yeah, and it's kind of like this. Nobody's really doing it the way that we used to do it. Like we used to get to know people, court them for a little bit. Now it's just so much, and then the music, and I just feel like it's a lot of things surrounding relationships and dating now in 2023. You have where the girls are like this, well, we don't need no man no more, or we just gonna do us. And it's just kind of like the guys are like, they're fed up and they're tired of all the women's BS and stuff like that. So it's almost like a divide in some kind of way. But
I think there's like the independence. I think now that people feel like they're so independent, they don't need one another. But I mean, when I hear we don't need like men, like really okay, let's be honest. I'm gonna be honest at least, and I'm gonna say, okay, the mechanic you go to, he's a dude. Like, let's be real. The mechanic you go to is gonna be a guy. Yeah. Like the trash man, picking up your trash is gonna be a guy. Like men fit all of these roles in society. Let's say you don't need. That's very. Yeah. At least that's how I feel. Like it's very like what
Yeah.
And I think independence. People feel like so independent they don't need one another.
And it's weird. It's like this. It shouldn't be a war or a battle between a man and a woman. You feel what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be like you go on your side, I go on my side. It's like we're supposed to be coming together. But I do feel like dating has changed. You'll have now where people were pretty much, if you were dating somebody, maybe you just date them. I don't know. Now you got to worry about rosters. Like,
bro, yes.
Women have longer rosters than men do.
So, people think they don't, but they do, bro.
Hey, camera, dude. If you're talking to a chick and you think she doesn't have a roster, you're a fool.
You're a fool.
I'm probably on her roster. But no, seriously, be smart. Be smart. Look, people aren't as committed. They're not wanting to get the marriages and the commitments anymore like that. So it's kind of like this. Now people are just up for a good time. Like if they can build a roster of 5-6 different dudes that are spoiling them, compliment them, validate them, they're gonna stick to that.
Did you know 80% of 80% of marriages that or 80% of divorces are filed by the woman?
Bingo.
And did you know that women with a college degree, it's 90%. 90% of like marriages or divorces that are initiated.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, to me, like screwy, you know, that someone feels independent enough to just be like, yeah, I don't need a marriage anymore. I don't need a relationship.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
that's kind of the direction that a lot of women are going in. And that's funny that you mentioned that there's like 80%, 85, 90% that it's women. When who's the person that's rushing down the aisle? Who are the people who really want to get married? It's mainly the women. Dudes
for sure,
dudes
bro.
aren't really just meeting women just like, I want to marry you. But women are like this, hey, I think we're committed, we should get married, kids and stuff like that. For you to have this much intensity to do this, and you're the first person that wants to get out. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like
man.
that's the dirty part. It's like
Real dirty.
What did you really want it for? But sometimes that's another thing. And
stability it's
I
wrong.
feel like it's kind of like people want the idea, but they don't really want the experience. They want a relationship, but they haven't did anything to figure out what would make me a better partner in a relationship. But as long as we can take photos on the gram, take some pictures, do this and that, take a couple trips, that's all they care about. But it's not really necessarily the relationship that they're really invested into.
I think having so many options nowadays too, because people have everybody, so many, like you have social media, and really like, I mean, I think the concept is crazy. You are like really like let's like decentralize from like all technology for a moment. So let's like take a step back and just be present and say, I am looking into a like slab of like electronics that is portraying like a picture of another human being, and I am meeting like a physical human fucking being from something that is made up and virtual, you know, like really really think about like apps like Tinder. You're swiping left and right on an entire person's life, all their experiences, everything they've seen, everything they've done, everything they believe in. You're like, you know, completely, you're throwing it out the window, or you're saying, okay, I want some of that, but it's a whole like life, you know, it's not like a number. And I think it's crazy when you really think of like the scope of social media and things now, that you can meet someone you've never met in your life off of an app that's virtual. Like really think about it. Back in the day, like, you know, you had like a cute girl, you had a cute like neighbor, right? From like a city. No one else knew who she was, you know, or who he was. Like no one knew. It was simply like, hey, how are you? Like, nice to meet you. You wooed them. Like, that is your woman now. That is your guy now. But now it's like, okay, look at all these options. Look at this guy's rich. Oh, he drives what? A McLaren? Oh, okay. Like, why would I? You know, like people have options. And I think it's a good and bad thing for sure. And I think I had this whole conversation before. I had a conversation with a large group of people around me. It was me and like 30 people. And I asked them, or we got asked the question, is social media and this new age of technology good or bad? And one of the guys there was like, well, I mean, if you look at Izzy, look at everything he's doing, like YouTube, and he's getting paid, and he has, you know, like, but all the positives from it. And me, the person who's creating, I was one of the only people who said, I think it's negative, because look at all the negative it does. When you're able to steer a narrative a certain way. Now you have people like fighting against each other. Now you have, you know, like, I see it almost as more of a negative, even though some people see it as a positive. When you have those options, you see it as a negative. When you don't have those options, you see it as a positive, you know? And that's why I think dating now has gotten so comparative. They look so happy together. Everyone looks fucking happy on Instagram, bro. You take an Instagram picture.
Who's taking a picture of them crying? I mean, I have seen some videos of people crying, which I never really understood, because I'm like this, okay, if you're crying, why are you pushing record? Like, who's like this? Oh, action. Like, we live in a different generation.
But yeah, I think that's that was interesting to hear. Like, you know, if you think dating's gotten better or worse. I think better in some ways.
Yeah.
Worse.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways.
It was kind of fun because like it gives you access to people in different states and things like that. I had a chick hit me up on TikTok, and she was liking the pictures, and I went to her page and looked at her pictures, and she was banging, bro.
Yeah.
Like banging. So I was like, so next time you're in Texas, hit me up. Bro, 2 weeks later, she was like, DM me, and she was like, hey, I'm in Texas this weekend.
Isn't that crazy?
And I had my experience. She went back home, got on the airplane, went back home, and it was kind of like this good old social media. You know what I mean? Like,
isn't that crazy?
I wouldn't have had access to this woman if we weren't on social media together. I would have had to just deal with whoever's in my city. But this opens up, like, I have this bad little Black and Asian chick in San Diego.
Blasian Persuasion.
Yes, bro. She's bad. Like, and she's wanting to come to Texas. And we've been planning to do this so much. But it's just kind of like the social media gives you access to the whole world.
It does, bro. So, yeah, I mean, that's for everybody out there listening. You know, keep that into consideration next time you hop on maybe like a dating app or you see someone you're interested in. I think kind of just like go for it because we live in an age where people aren't used to communicating.
Yeah.
And I think if you can communicate, even the interviews help me so much when I'm talking to people. You know, like I'm still talking to people I otherwise probably never would have. I walk up to like a group of 10s. I still get like kind of nervous, you know, group of 10s and it's just me, like 4 of them. I'm with the flash and camera on me.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, but hey, you're the director. Like you got to make it happen. Yeah. And usually I wouldn't do that.
Right.
So I don't know. I think,
can I give some a dating advice?
Hell yeah, bro.
Bro, guys, if you're talking on the phone to these girls and you're doing these text messaging, keep them to a minimum.
That is you heard it from the horse's mouth. You heard it. But yeah, guys, I hope that was useful to y'all. I hope all of that was useful. And we're going to break it up into increments. Yeah. But if I don't, y'all saw Jay himself. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll have all of his information down below so y'all can tap into Mr. TikTok himself. And we'll catch y'all in the next one.
Yes, sir.
Peace out. My God. Hey, look, it took some